So this is a story all about how I went from running 12.8 at 12 years old to 12.15 and English schools champion at 13 years old. So let's get into it. Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. I hope you guys are good. Let me paint you a picture of how I actually started running. What did my form look like when I first came to athletics? So first of all, let me paint a picture of what I looked like. Glasses, can't remember how my hair was, but I reckon it was in 2 afro puffs and no name brand clothing, right? And I had moved from athletics, from gymnastics, and pretty much I ran leaning forward, no arms and on my toes. So let me kind of demonstrate that for you guys. So more or less that was my form, right? Pretty much no form. So everything we talk about in terms of front side mechanics, I did not have that. Using your arm, I did not do that for sure. I leaned way too far forward, but somehow I was still able to run fast at the time, and I actually caught the attention of my coach at the time. I actually remember that I went to the toilet because before that, like I said, kind of looking like the poor kid, but because I went to the toilet, I got put into the boys group, and then because I was kept up with them, well, I think I beat them, to be honest. I think I beat them. He took notice of me, and obviously that's when my athletics journey really started in terms of training for athletics. Like I said, prior to that I was doing gymnastics, right? And so that is what my form looked like. So I remember running about 1 time at 12 years old, and running 12.8 at 12 years old is not a slow time to run at all. It's quite a quick time actually. I think I ran 12.8 and I ran 19.1. One of my baby brothers was born and we were late for that competition, so that's why that picture is very clear in my mind. So I think that's the only thing I actually did as an under 13 at age 12. So how did I manage to go from 12.8 to 12.15 the next season? And I definitely did not grow. Probably have been the same height pretty much like since secondary school. So it wasn't really to do with growing in height. So here are 3 things that we changed that helped me to actually improve my time by more than half a second. The first one, I think you guys know what I'm going to say, right? And that is definitely to begin to use my arms. Now we talk about arms so often, but I think especially as new sprinters, you can underestimate how much your arms play when it comes to your leg. You think of running, you think, oh yeah, I run with my legs, and that is true. But just like in a car, a car helps to steer the direction of the car, your arms really play a part as to what your legs are doing, okay? So if you're not hammering the arms, if you're not being aggressive with the arms, it's very likely that you're not going to be able to have this turnover that you want, be aggressive with your legs. So I had to learn to utilize my arm, because having my arms down here, flapping, was not doing me any justice whatsoever. And so I had to learn to use my arm. You know, I was taught to have my hands like this, so just relax on top of it like that. And I used to run very relaxed. It's one of the things a lot of people used to say about me, that I run relaxed, which is good, but I had to learn over the years to learn to be aggressive and relaxed. But I ran very softly, like sort of thing. But I learned to use my arms, I learned to use them, and I had to learn not to bring them across, because it was natural for me to bring my arm across my body twisting. So I had to learn to utilize my arms. So arms, guys, if you haven't checked out my arms video, then make sure to check that video out. Now, the second thing that we definitely changed in order to help me move from 12.8 to 12.15 is to stand more upright and engage my core. So be tall. We had a term where we would say look over the fence. So our coach used to say look over the fence, keep your head in front. So you don't want to have your head up so you're leaning backwards, but just have your head, you know, looking over the fence so that you're eye level. So obviously as you come up from the dry phase, you come up and you're nice and tall. So it's not a case of keeping your body low for the 100 meters. And I am talking about the 100 here, guys, if you haven't clocked that already. Talking about the 100, but it's not about keeping your body low and bent at your hip. That's not where you want to be. You don't want to be bent at your hip, right? You want to have a line that goes through your body, isn't it? From your head to your toe when you're executing, and when you come up to standing up. So just a quick side note, guys, I'm really sorry about the wind. Please forgive me, give me a bit of grace, you know, but I really hope you enjoy the video anyway. And if you are leaning all the way forward when you're up in your upright max velocity running, you're not giving yourself room to actually, you know, bring that knee up and hammer it down and, you know, produce forward and open up your stride length. So I had to learn to stand more upright, be taller in my running, learning to stop leaning so far forward, using my arms at the same time. Those are 2 things I learned to do. And the third thing, one of the big things that I learned, and one of the things that I started to learn very early on, is about dorsiflexion. And if you haven't checked out my video about dorsiflexion, check that video out, because I take you guys through a little bit more detail about it, right? But dorsiflexion is one of those things that you want to learn very early on as a sprinter. It's one of those things that's going to change your running, transform your running. And you know, I came from gymnastics, so as a gymnast, you run on your toes. You're getting ready to, for example, if you're going on a vault, you're getting ready to jump onto the springboard, so you're preparing your arm, which is why I came with my arms down. Yeah, that's kind of why I had that mentality, because you're getting ready to, whatever motion you're going to do, most of the time your arms are going to come from down before you do it, right? So your arms are tend to be down as you're running as a gymnast, but in athletics you want to be using your arms, right? So that whole having my forward lean, arms flopping by my side and not really doing anything for me also meant that I had no space to bring my knee up, which meant that I had a lot of backside action. My heel coming up all the way behind me. That's how I used to run, literally, right? So having to learn to bring my knees more in front of me. And at the time, we didn't say front side mechanics, that wasn't the terms we had, but dorsiflexion was definitely something that I was taught, and it was ingrained into me to land on the ball of my foot. So if you're thinking about dorsiflexion, it's very hard to keep your heel all the way back, because if you're thinking about bringing your foot through, automatically you want to stand more upright, automatically my torso is coming up, right? Just that cue of dorsiflexion made me begin to start getting my foot more in front unknowingly to me. I didn't know that. That was one of the first things that I remember my my coach teaching me. At the time, that was Les Mars, Frank Adams, thank you very much, guys. And actually that transformed my running so much so that I went from leaning all the way forward, starting to use my arms, being more upright, so looking over the fence rather than leaning forward and having my head all the way down, even looking down at the floor. You could just look straight ahead of you. You can look straight ahead of you when you're running, guys. And then also dorsiflexion. So yeah, those are the three things that we changed in that first year of my training and that first year of my competing as a sprinter. So that's what helped me to go from running 12.8 in the 100 to 12.15 in the 100 and becoming English schools champion as that first year under 15. So let me know in the comment section below, was this video helpful? What did you change in your first year of athletics? What are you training right now in your training? What are you focusing on to help you get faster? But if you like the video, guys, please give it a big thumbs up to help me accelerate my channel, to let the algorithm know so that more athletes like you can see this video. And if you haven't checked out my videos that I mentioned, so my video about arms and my video about dorsiflexion, make sure to check those out next, and I'll see you guys on another Friday. Bye, guys.